Moving on from question 6 into the back half of logical reasoning drill set number 10 over at lawhub.lsac.org with question number 7. We've got a highlight tool ready to go as always, and we read the question stem first. It states, if all of the loan officer's statements are true, which one of the following must also be true? So we've got an inference task here. We're going to highlight the individual statements of fact in different colors and then cross-check the specifics rather than trying to do this through conditional diagramming, which we know in the digital LSAT era is largely just not efficient enough to work the problems in that fashion. So starting at the top with the loan officer statements, anyone who is employed less than full-time and has an annual income below a predetermined level is eligible for a microloan. Okay, so we've got that statement telling us how you become eligible for a microloan. And now we'll change our highlight color. No one who resides outside the city and no one who has defaulted on a microloan is eligible for a development loan. So we've got basically what keeps you from being eligible for a development loan. Now we'll move to our orange color. Finally, the professional loan is available for anyone who is registered with the Commerce Board and has never defaulted on a microloan. So we'll highlight that in orange. And now we're going to go to the answer choices, looking for incorrect quantities, incorrect to a degree conditional statements, but hopefully that we're able to match with the highlight colors and the relevant variables, as opposed to actually having to manually draw this out. So starting with choice A, thank you for watching this LSAT explanation video of an official practice problem over at lawhub.lsac.org. If you're enjoying the explanation, please consider becoming a MyGuru member to get early and exclusive access to additional explanation problems to help you on your LSAT journey. You can also like the video and subscribe to become notified when additional practice explanation videos are produced by MyGuru. But for now, let's get back to this explanation. At least some people who are eligible for microloans. Okay, so if you're eligible for a microloan, you're employed less than full time, you have a low annual income, basically, are registered with the Commerce Board. The Commerce Board is simply someone who's going to be part of a professional loan. We have no idea what would make someone be registered with the Commerce Board. So choice A is going to need additional information. We should be able to eliminate immediately choice A because we're like, we have no conditions for how you get registered with the Commerce Board. Then choice B, anyone who is eligible for a development loan is also eligible for a microloan. Well, we've got basically the disqualifying factors for a development loan, but could there be someone with a development loan who has full-time employment, for instance? Seems like it. I mean, you could be full-time. You would never have had a microloan, so therefore you would never have defaulted on it. And you'd be inside the city and you've got full-time employment. Maybe that's how you get a development loan. So B is going to be extreme. And again, you can hopefully pretty easily mentally set up a situation where you're like, yeah, you could have a development loan and be full-time worker potentially, and you wouldn't be eligible for that microloan. So then choice C, anyone who is eligible for a microloan and who resides within the city is also eligible for a development loan. Well, eligible for a microloan doesn't mean that you didn't then default on that microloan. So you could be eligible and then have defaulted later, and you would not be eligible for a development loan because you defaulted on that microloan. So again, choice C you should be able to eliminate just by, again, thinking through a relatively straightforward scenario that would violate choice C. Then choice D, the professional loan is available for anyone who is registered with the Commerce Board. Yep, that's right there in the orange. And who is eligible for a development loan. Well, we know that if you're eligible for a development loan, you had to have not defaulted on a microloan, and that is the criteria, the other half of the criteria beyond the Commerce Board for eligibility with the professional loan. So D matches those statements in the orange and yellow directly. Hopefully you can see that pretty clearly. And then we move to choice E. No one who is ineligible for a professional loan both resides within the city and is eligible for a microloan. Well, if we're looking at ineligible for a professional loan, that means you're not registered with the Commerce Board potentially. Well, you could certainly be not registered with the Commerce Board and eligible for a microloan. So this is not going to follow, because you could certainly get a microloan and not be on the Commerce Board, because it's just you have that low income level and you're not full-time employed that gets you a microloan. So E is absolutely something that is not required to be true. Again, you could theoretically do this through conditional diagramming. It's not going to make you go any faster. It's going to make you come out of the interface and probably be a little bit less quick to just think through those scenarios for A, B, C, and E's wrong answers. And you're just tracking the terms, and hopefully that makes it what is honestly a harder question here in number 7 a little bit more reasonably doable in the roughly minute and a half that you have for each logical reasoning question on a standard LSAT section.